Peace, love, and light, family. Hope the sun is shining wherever you are. Hope that you're living in your greatest purpose. Let's get into your messages. Okay, messages for Scorpios. Creation, Page of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Ancestry. I'm really getting this energy of ancestry from this Ten of Pentacles today. And there's something about it. There's something about this energy of ancestry. Okay. Messages for Scorpios. Okay. This one is... it's a hidden message. So I'm hearing hidden in plain sight, perhaps. This energy of 9-9. 9 of Cups, 9 of Wands, energy of wish fulfillment, release from bondage, release yourself, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long will they kill our prophets while we stand beside and look? Won't you help to sing this song of freedom? Is all I ever had. Redemption song. So the divine may be revealing information about someone's redemption, someone being redeemed from something. 11, Justice. How long will they kill our prophets while we stand beside and look? Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Okay, Scorpios. All right, let's get into this message. Feeling very strong Bob Marley vibes. Bob Marley, a very profound prophet. Ashe. Ashe. Okay. Tell me about this 9 of Cups. Already this flying cards. I'm getting this energy that there may be some of you that feel a bit lost at this time. You may feel a bit lost. You may feel a sense of kind of like you're isolated, alone. Perhaps you're trying to figure some things out. Some of you may feel isolated. Some of you may have isolated yourself. And perhaps this isolation has to do with you redeeming yourself. You're in the process of redeeming yourself. Tell me more about this 9 of Cups. Redeeming yourself. Redeeming yourself. I'm getting a very strong grounding energy. You're grounding yourself. Some of you are actually sheltering yourself from the world, the thoughts of the world, the beliefs of the world. You've isolated yourself in order to ground yourself, to find your way. For many of you, this isolation is from things, majority of things that are related to the world, perhaps people, beliefs. 9 of Cups is fulfillment. You're looking for fulfillment. You're looking for truth. Truth, justice, reciprocity, ma'at. You're looking for that balance. Because That's why the Justice card showed up. Okay. Some of you are kind of feeling like you may be learning about some things that make you feel... Lover's card, self-love. Some of you may be learning some things about... Or you're learning in general. You may be learning some things in general that are releasing you from a certain way of thinking. Like you're in search for your fulfillment. What you're uncovering is that you've been lied to quite some time. For quite some time you've been lied to about something, and this energy of isolation, this energy of feeling like why did I believe in this, or why didn't I see this before? This is the energy that I'm getting from here, and it's almost like someone who's literally like separated themselves from the rest of the world, isolated themselves in order to like think clearly, in order to get clarity. And this is you literally like making a break from traditional ways of thinking. Some of this is for some of you, this is some way of thinking perhaps that you've been used to for quite some time, and now you're really questioning it. And this questioning it is making you feel very much isolated from a lot of things and people. And perhaps this grounding energy with the King of Pentacles is, you know, you're looking for a way to better yourself, you know, and this isolation may bring that because you kind of felt like you've been lied to. Not kind of, you feel like you've been lied to. And some of you are feeling like you just want to find the truth. You want to find your happiness. You want to find what's yours. You want to get to the heart of the matter. And you're using your emotional intelligence. You're trusting your intuition, because the King of Cups is very much connected, right? This is someone that has a lot of information. I'm really getting this energy that many of you are really looking for that information, because for whatever reason, whatever you've been told, you've been lied to. You have been lied to for quite some time. You're turning your back on something. And many of you, the perseverance that you've experienced in working on yourself and grounding yourself, it's making you really turn your back on something, turning your back on old ways. The divine is saying that whatever it is that you turned your back on, it actually led you to a new path, a new way of thinking. That's closely connected to, more so to your intuition than anything else. And I'm also hearing that this grounding that you're experiencing is connecting you with all aspects of nature, okay? Because this King of Pentacles here is very much connected to earth energy. Whatever you've turned to, you have a new interest. For many of you, the interest that you actually have is not one that most people agree with. It's in fact it's probably a way of thinking. Perhaps your spiritual practice has changed, your knowledge, the way of thinking, what you subscribe to, it has changed drastically, and it has really put you into more of a position of being, and I keep hearing this, like you're now more in an energy of being the master of your own ship. And perhaps there was a period where you felt lost, okay? You felt lost because the majority believed in something that you felt like wasn't your truth, okay? And you isolated yourself from a lot of the practices. So what this means that, like, many of you may have believed in some traditional practice or something like that, and then you began learning information about the truth of what this practice is. And as you began learning the truth, you began feeling isolated from a lot of the world, a lot of people, a lot of practices, you know, that folks are engaged in. So once you began, like, you know, turning to your own spiritual power. You started listening to your instincts more. You became the master of your own ship. You became the director. You are the one steering the ship, and the divine is praising you for this, because you are literally waking up where you may have felt like you weren't awakened. Like many of you felt lost because you have this feeling. Many of you have this feeling that you were lied to. You were lied to for quite some time. The deception. You were lied to for quite some time, and now you're the master of your ship, and the divine is sounding the horn and is saying congratulations, because now you have an increase. You have an increase in your status, okay? And the status that you have, it's divinely appointed. You have been divinely appointed on this assignment. It's not someone that gave it to you, something that gave it to you. It's not a corporation that's given it to you. The divine has given you this divine assignment, and you've accepted it. And due to accepting this divine assignment, you've also realized that it comes with a lot of different things. Part of what it comes with is this energy of isolation. And you've been gifted, access to knowledge, divine knowledge that you may not have before. This is bringing you a lot of balance, okay? You've turned your back on this feeling of feeling stuck, feeling like you're stuck at the crossroads, waiting for someone to show you the way, waiting for someone to open the gates for you. And you know what you did? You cracked open the gates yourself, because you have the sword of justice in your hand. You're a lot more balanced, okay? Because this energy of being pulled along on a string was making you feel less than yourself, okay? It was making you feel less than, okay? Whatever information, whatever knowledge that you're connecting to now that you weren't connected to before, it was making you feel less than. And turning your back away from this has really opened the floodgates really to a lot of information. Like you're literally redeeming yourself by changing and releasing the deception and the lies, and moving away from like a knowledge base, a system of some sort that is no longer serving you. You realize also that you are more resilient at this time, because you're a lot more connected to the cosmos. You're connected to the universe, whereas you may not have felt like this previously. 9 of Wands. Okay, so 9 of Wands is appearing twice, so this is really a major focus on this. This is about you redeeming yourself. This is that energy of redemption. You are redeeming yourself through your knowledge. You're redeeming yourself by turning yourself away from what no longer serves you. Many of you are actually, it may be challenging for many of you to be in this energy of isolation at this time. Many of you get to know that a lot of the chosen, and as well as those who are awakening, are in this energy of isolation. Like you are someone that doesn't necessarily do what the world does. You don't subscribe to the beliefs that a lot of the world does. You don't do things the world does, okay? Some major examples: you may be someone who may not have the latest this or the latest that, even though that's what the status quo kind of is. You're very, you may be someone that's somewhat disconnected to that, and some of you may feel like you're completely disconnected from that. And sometimes this energy of isolation, can feel it can feel like it's a lot of work. Like it really takes a lot of work to, literally, you may feel like you're swimming against the currents. You're realizing the challenge of swimming against the currents, and yet you're doing it anyway. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. Yep, and I'm also hearing that many of you, the challenge of being in this energy of isolation, you get to know that this is what isolation means. Isolation is not necessarily removing yourself from a particular group of people because you no longer feel connected to them. Isolation is on a global, like, it's on a global scale. Like, this energy of isolation that you are in at this time, for many of you, it's literally disconnecting yourself from any and everything that is not serving your highest good. This includes ways of thinking. Many of you have actually chosen to be in an energy of mental isolation. You have chosen to walk on a path that is very much different from most folks. You've chosen to subscribe to a particular way of being that most folks are not subscribing to. And more so, it's like a lot of folks would be like, what you doing? You get to know that the mental part of this isolation is one of the most challenging parts for you, because this is where you can essentially be attacked. For many of you, it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of resilience to go against the currents, because you've realized that your isolation means you're swimming against the currents. And it's a challenge. And that for you, for many of you, is it's an investment that you are willing to make, and you are very much clear that the divine is revealing to you and is telling you to have no fear. And this is why you've chosen this path, because a lot of times what you've experienced by thinking differently, by doing things differently, oftentimes are like folks that come at you that try to question you, that try to, like, literally, it's really a lot of mental work. It takes resilience, because there are a lot of folks that want to make you feel like you have to explain yourself. You don't have to explain anything to anyone. You don't owe anyone any explanation for why you choose to believe what you believe, for why you chose to be isolated, why you chose to, think differently than most folks. The divine is also letting you know that your isolation is bringing you closer to spiritual enlightenment. Okay, this energy of choosing to subscribe to a different belief than others, it's bringing you to heighten spiritual enlightenment in this new cycle. Wish fulfillment. And what you're finding is that you're going to feel a lot more of a division than a union. And you may feel a division before you feel a sense of union. And that's the challenge. There's a psychology to this. And that's the challenge. The psychology of your isolation is your greatest battle, because it's doing some stuff. And again, the divine is saying the psychology of your liberation has very little to do with physically removing yourself from folks. It has more to do with the challenges of your mind. What your mind has to deal with when you are basically in a space of being alone. And the divine is letting you know that you're never alone. When you're chosen, you're never alone. This is really a challenge for many of you. Okay? Whether you've awakened, you are now in this new cycle, you understand what it means to be a chosen and all that. Okay, you got your You got your things in order. And whether it is that you're just beginning to awaken, the psychology of this you know, isolation is, it's really a challenge. There's a psychology to this like whole isolation process here. Part of it is, that's the challenging part, is realizing that, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it goes against the grain, it goes against the currents. Especially because you're in a place where you're still learning. Like, you're literally navigating this thing. Many of you didn't have necessarily someone holding your hands. You know, you didn't have someone in your ancestry. And many of you, you're actually just learning about this, you know, about the importance of your ancestors and doing this and going through this walk. And the divine is letting you know that you actually have more ancestors than you think. Okay? Your ancestors are those that are within your immediate bloodline and those that you also identify with as part of your soul tribe. You get to know that you have soul tribes that you may not have any blood relation to. It's more of a cosmic family. You have those. Okay? You have those. And those are the ones that are actually helping you through this process, because it's a challenge. Like, you're literally standing strong and doing what you will because of these ancestors, these soul tribes that may not, as well, as far as you know, they may not be related to your blood family. And many of you actually really strongly identify with them. Your mental isolation is, like, it sounds weird, mental isolation. Like, this is really you just like choosing not to subscribe to the way of thinking that of the majority. For many of you, that's like one of the most challenging parts of this, because you've literally let go of all illusions. You've let go of all this like smoke screen. You've removed the veil. You are no longer asleep. You're no longer asleep. You're holding on to what's yours. You're holding on to your energy. And you're putting energy into what matters. And like this warrior that is, you know, and many of you, I know you may not think of yourself as warriors. As long as you literally are resilient enough to stand up to a belief that is elevating you, the divine is telling you that you're considered a warrior figure. We'll say it like that. Okay, however it is that, you know, you think of it, you're someone that does not give up easily. You will not stop. Your willpower is very strong, and this is really keeping you here. Anything else? Your strength. The divine is saying have strength, and the divine is also saying that one of the greatest challenges of, you know, going against the grain is you become vulnerable to a lot of things that are now on the outside world that you're not subscribing yourself to. And you get to have this confidence here because that's what's going to help you proceed to move further. Scorpios, I don't know who this message is for, and take it as it resonates. This is really a message for those who are really trying to overcome some things mentally as it relates to like this ascension process, moving towards this energy of elevating, growing spiritually. It's like regardless of who you are and how many meditations you have, everyone has had, you know, moments where they've experienced, you know, what it's like to go against the grain, what it's like to be someone who's consistently, you know, and some of you have chosen not to even explain, you know, you kind of just like, okay, just watch me kind of thing. And it's a challenge nonetheless. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to be building yourself up to this energy of like master manifester, because it involves a lot of different stuff. Okay, Scorpios, anything else? I'm gonna close this out. Something tells me there's like more to this message. There's like some more information that the divine wants you to have regarding this message, and I'm really seeing that it will come, you know, it will come. And what you get to know is that you're moving away from an energy of conflict to healing, because you've chosen, see, this is confirmation. You've chosen, many of you, what this means is you've actually moved away from like the ways of traditional institutions, like all of these beliefs of a traditional institution, a traditional way of thinking. This may have to do with religion. You've moved away from religion, okay? And you are more spiritual. And the King of Swords is confirming this. This has to do with those of you who've moved away from, there's a massive, massive move from religious institutions, you know, to becoming more spiritual. You may have been more religious, now you're more spiritual. And you're finding a lot more truth and clarity by being more spiritual. And these are some of the things that come with it. These are some of the things that you're dealing with. And the divine is letting you know, to know that you're not alone. There are others who are experiencing this. Okay? Stand in your truth. Stand in your clarity. Stand in your power. Because you've taken a road where now you are the authority of your own destiny, the authority of over your own life, as opposed to allowing, you know, some way of thinking to dominate your way of thinking. And many of you have actually experienced that this way is really not working for you. This is why you move and you manifested this energy of moving towards spiritual enlightenment, because many of you have also felt like these religious institutions betrayed you. You were betrayed by some religious institution. Yep. Many of you have also realized that a lot of these religious, like a lot of the folks that betrayed you actually belong to these religious institutions. So it's like, this is like more of a confirmation for you. For many of you, this became more of a confirmation for you to literally walk away from this way of thinking. And many of you may not have ever spoken about it until recently. This new sense of direction that you have is causing you to be in this Page of Swords energy, because you're literally feeling like you're starting over. And it's a challenge because everything else you're facing in the world looks like this. You get to know that as long as you're able to withstand and hold and be resilient, you may not think of yourself as this spiritual warrior, as this warrior. And the divine is reminding you that you are. And the divine is also letting you know that there are others exactly like you experiencing the same thing. And to keep moving forward, as above, so below, because it's going to be a time where soul tribes are going to unite based on ideas of spiritual compatibility more than religion, more than, physical ideals or the way people look. Like, people are really uniting based on spiritual beliefs. Like, this is a union of the soul tribes coming together here. So hold on, because this is what you're moving towards, success and victory. And you get to know that you have the advantage by being true to yourself. Okay. For whatever reason, it still feels like there's more, and the divine is saying more may be revealed to you. For many of you, I'm also hearing that what turned you away from a lot of institutions had to do with many of them were exposed for, and there's been a lot of this energy coming out. It's like a lot of lustful, sexual, fetishes and behaviors, that you've probably heard about, or maybe you experienced. Like, some of that stuff has a lot to do with you moving towards spirituality too. Cosmic power. And that's as above, so below energy, divine feminine, divine masculine energy. This is Dambala Aida Do energy. Okay, messages. Ancestors. The divine wants you to feel safe. This has come out before, Scorpios. Yeah, the divine really wants you to feel safe to be where you're at. And this is physically as well as mentally. Okay. Tituba is saying it's finally safe to be you. You have wandered through a dark night. Your trip has been long. There is light ahead. Your liberation is apparent. You deserve to feel secure. Feeling safe is knowing that your basic needs are met. Feeling safe. Feeling safe is feeling at home in your body. Feeling safe is trusting your journey. Feeling safe is feeling free around those you love. Feeling safe is trusting that the sun will rise again. If you grew up emotionally, spiritually, or physically unsafe, reset your default expectations to a healthier vibration. Goddess declaration, I am safe. It is safe to be safe. This ancestor actually brought up something, literally that just like, it was just like an epiphany that just came up. Many of you didn't feel safe in these religion. Okay, we're gonna speak that. They don't want you to speak on that, Scorpios. There's some stuff that took place. Many of you experienced some stuff within these religious institutions that are going to be exposed. They're actually being exposed. Many of you didn't feel safe from a lot of these religious institutions that you used to give your time, your energy, your resources to. You did not feel safe. You did not feel safe to be yourself. You did not feel safe to grow spiritually, and you knew that this wasn't happening. It was almost like, something was trying to bind you, keep you stuck. And this is why this energy of the Two of Swords showed up. Okay, that's even more clarity right now. This is why this energy of this Two of Swords showed up, because you were not safe. Okay, any place that has you stuck where you feel like you're not growing spiritually, you are not safe. You're literally a prisoner. And many of you knew this, you uncovered it, you began to uncover it, and many within those same religious institutions began noticing that you were uncovering this. And the more you uncovered it, the more they tried to bury it deeper, the more they tried to bind you even deeper to keep you stuck. Okay, they fed you lies and deceit for quite some time, and then they did things to cover their tracks, and now they're being exposed. These religious institutions are being exposed at this time, and the divine is saying, many of you who have moved and walked away from these, there's some process that you're actually going through, you're experiencing that makes you feel like this, like almost like, you know, you're this, you know, almost like you're this wounded warrior. Okay, and this is wounds of the past from religious institutions, from your connection to them. Scorpios, this is deeper than deeper than this. All right, and you get to know that the divine is with you. You have others who are going through these experiences, and the divine saying to continue to be resilient, stand strong, because you're on the right path. And it's time to breathe. All right, Scorpios, truth, justice, reciprocity, ma'at, and that's what it's about. All right, Scorpios, if this message resonates, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, love, peace, divine light.